Good morning. Welcome to Fearless Gray. How are you today? Not the smoothest intro, but I love my intro as far as like the warnings about watching the show. So I wanted to make sure I got it on there. You might laugh, you might cry, you might try crazy things, you might try to balance on things. Anyways, you've been warned, but I hope you stay around and keep watching Fearless Gray. So anyways, we are in the middle of the week of the compound effect. I'm reading the book, The Compound Effect by Darren Hardy. And it was so good that I wanted to take a week to share it with you because I think there's so many important topics that we can really implement into our life during the Fearless Gray years. And it's so good that I want to give one away. So for the next 2 days, anyone who either shares my show or tags a friend in it or someone who thinks you might like this book, I'll give one free away at the end of the week. The other thing, so I have my 4 children, and then I also have 3 godchildren, and I have a little text that I sometimes send them, like daily, like inspirational things. That's not that daily, but what I decided I'm going to do when I was reading this book is I'm going to start like mailing them books that I really like, but to make it efficient because they are like teenagers and 20-year-olds and don't take the time to read a whole book. I think I'm going to go through each one and highlight like just important stuff and underline it. So we'll see if any of them are watching because they'll know it's coming. But it's just such a good book. That's the book I'm going to kick it off with, and which is why we are starting, or that's why we're having this week about the compound effect. So yesterday we talked about 2 important topics that are in this book, and one is that the routines you have are what bring you success, and that they're compounded by how often you do these routines. And so I realize, like, for my show, each day I need to have a routine to start my show every single day, and so I had better success. Like yesterday I tuned in at like 9:40 and didn't have my logos and all that, and so I'm trying to establish routines for my show. So I wanted to just share with those quickly with you. So this is what I came up with, because there's kind of a list of things I need to do to get the show going. I need to turn on my live, so I'm going to turn on the live, actually reverse. What I'm going to do the night before is I'm going to write out my storyboard of the show, and then that morning at like 7 o'clock always I'm going to get ready and like put my makeup on, do my hair, get dressed, so that when 8:30, 9 rolls around, I'm not like, oh my gosh. And so I'm going to start doing that at 9 or at 7, and then at 9 o'clock I'm going to turn on the Live Leap, which is like a sharing app that I use, and I'm going to do a meditation, just like kind of calm my mind and all that, and kind of clear my mind, so hopefully I do a better show. And then I'm going to have, before that actually, I'm going to set up, so the Switcher Go requires me to sign in and write the description, and I'm going to do all that. So I'm going to do Live Leap, turn on my Switcher Go, make sure my lights are in place, and then I'm going to meditate. And then I'm going to start my show on time. And best laid plans for me, this is how it goes. I was all set to go because I did do my routine. 9:30 is gonna turn on the button, and then, so here's what's on here, beep, beep, beep. I'm like, oh crap, the garbage isn't out. And I might have let it go if it was 20 degrees below in winter, but my garbage gets picked up twice a week, and I wasn't letting it sit out there for 2 more weeks. So that's why, yet again, I didn't start exactly at 9:30 tomorrow, because I do have my routines in place. And so that was one of the things that we discussed yesterday. And the other things were, so if you have habits that you either want in your life or you want to get rid of, do write it down daily in just a little notebook that you take everywhere with you. And so I did start implementing that for myself, and I did one that I want to improve on, which is the way I eat. So I'm journaling everything I eat. Yesterday I did have 8 melt-aways because my sister gave me chocolate. But anyways, at least I knew how many. And then on the reverse, I flipped over my notebook, and I'm doing what I spend every day because I'm trying to spend less. So it's kind of like a dual notebook for me, like things I want to improve on and things I kind of want to change. Anyway, so moving into today, I want to talk about the magic penny of life. And have you guys ever heard, it's not like a story, it's kind of like a fact, like if I offered you could have 1 penny, which would be doubled every day for 31 days, so let's say the month of July, or I would give you $3 million right now, which one should you choose? And at what point, so the point is that you should choose your 1 penny doubled every day for 31 days, which if you think about it is really a short amount of time. But do you know how many days you'd have to go through questioning your decision before you would actually have more money than the 3 million? At day 29, you would have the same amount, and it won't be till day 30 that you go ahead And then at day 31, you'd have 10.7 million and they'd have 3 million. But it shows the effect of just doing, taking a small thing and compounding it every day. And so a lot of this book, The Compound Effect, is if we take, small habits and tasks and things that are good for us and do them every single day and not lose track at day 15 or day 20, what the effect they can have in our life. Now, of course, when we're trying to implement some habits in our life, it's not like we're trying to double down quickly in 31 days, because that would kind of lead to what's the right word? You can just blow it out and you'd be exhausted. But it's about what can you do in your life that you start the habit now and you do it consistently, 5 out of 7 days a week, and what are the things that you're willing to go through the hard work when you get to be 6 months in and you haven't seen that much of a change, and you're 12 months in and you're starting to see some change, and at 18 months it's a huge difference. And that's kind of how we have to look at life. And if you're someone like me, it's difficult, because my habit has always been to going hard and burn hard and get it all done, and then I kind of trail out. So as I get to Fearless Gray age, what I'm really trying to do is kind of stand back and think about what can I do on a steady, consistent basis that's going to have multiplying effects in my Fearless Gray years. And I think one of the things that when we get to be Fearless Gray, a lot of times we think we have all of our major things done. And the reality is there's so many major things that we can have an impact on. If there's an organization that you wanted to volunteer at, and if you did every week for 18 months, think about the difference not only it would have on the organization, but on yourself. Or if you wanted to have a really good relationship with your kids, and you made sure every week you spent one quality hour with your kids, just one of them, and you do that for 6 months, 12 months, a year, until it becomes a habit. Think about in 5 years the different quality of a relationship you're going to have. And I think that what we need to find is the ways to sustain those habits. And so that's what I'm really trying to do. I'm making a routine for myself, in the morning, that I'm going to do these things every single morning. Well, 5 out of 7 days. I think that's the other problem. We need to allow a little bit of flexibility in our life, because life happens. But if we can, any habit that we want, if we aim for 5 out of 7, that's really so much more doable than 7 out of 7. So think about the goals that you want in your life. What do you want for your personal relationship? What do you want for your finances? What do you want for your lifestyle? What do you want for your health? Those are, all major things. But if you just took one for each one of those, so lifestyle, relationships, health, finances, and did one small habit either every 5 out of 7 days a week or every week, how much it would change over the next 18 months. I feel we get to sometimes Fearless Gray and we feel we've made it, we've done it, we're comfortable, let's do status quo. And what we're missing out on if we do that is that engaged, passionate life that we really want to have for the second half of our life. So that was one thought. And then so quote I wanted to share from the book was Aristotle said, "We are what we repeatedly do." And so that really ties into find the things that are going to impact, again, your finances, your health, your lifestyle, your fitness, and repeatedly do them. And don't be like I've been and burn out. If you need to stand back, if you're like me, we have this opportunity to stand back, implement these habits in our life. And the thing is, if we don't implement the habits we want, then we're run by other habits. So if I don't exercise every day, I'm run by the lack of a habit, which is also a habit. I have the habit of not working out, or I have the habit of eating at 10 o'clock at night, or I have the habit of going out to eat too many nights, or I have the habit of not calling my brothers enough, and those are all habits too. And if I do the reverse of them, the relationships will change, finances will change, health will change. So I think a lot of times we think of if I add good habits, but what we're not realizing is we're doing habits, but they're just kind of a lack of habit, which is the detriment. So tomorrow, one more thought. The other thing is so if we see something you want to be, let's say in 5 years when you're Fearless Gray plus 5, and you want to track that to your life, we have to stop looking at how am I going to get that and change what do I need to be to get that. So what do I need to change about myself, where once again our habits come into place. So if I want BubblrMedia to be really successful, how do I need to grow to help that happen, as opposed to what do I need to bring to me. Does that make sense? I hope I'm being clear. I know sometimes I explain things and it's not the most clear way. So comment below anytime you're like, what are you talking about, Jennifer? Because that'll really help me hone in as we go, like being more clear, which is something that I'm actually really working on. That's one of my habits. Like, I know I need to change if I want Fearless Gray to be successful, is the ability to clearly state all my thoughts. So tomorrow we're going to talk about, and I love this, part of this book talked about gratitude as a habit. And I love that because, you know, part of Fearless Gray is gratitude is peace. And so I'm going to share his idea for gratitude that you do every day for a year. I really think you're going to love this idea. It's a really great gift too. And then on Thursday, I'm getting fearless. I'm putting on my red shoes and we're going flocking on the street. Yeah, we're flocking. That's why I decided to call it flocking on the street. And I'm going to go out somewhere and we're going to talk to people or try to get people to talk to me about habits they have in their life. And I don't know if I'm going to go like on a street or a coffee shop, or I was thinking a laundromat, and maybe nobody will talk to me, but then we'll see 15 minutes of me trying to talk to people, but I'm just going to do it. Anyway, so that will be Thursday. And so our Flamingo Lingo for the day is you are what you strut. So however you're strutting, whatever habits you're using, that's who you are. Anyways, have a great day and flock on. We'll see you tomorrow.